Hey there, it's E Squared Photography. I'm Erin.
And I'm Emily, and we are here to keep things simple and fun.
When it comes to family photos, posing a larger family can sometimes be easier than posing a family of 3 where there is just one child. So we are here to give you some tips today.
And make sure to stick around until the end because we have something that will help you.
And by the end of this video, you will have some new poses and things to think about when going to your next family session.
And for the best photography tips and tricks, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell for notifications of future videos.
All right, let's talk about families of 3 posing ideas. So the very first thing that we typically do with all of our families just to warm them up is do a walking pose. So as you can see here is one variation of a walking pose. We are getting them all to look at the camera and smile at us. It doesn't matter which parent is holding the kid. If they prefer one and they're younger, probably let them have that. You could also vary it up by switching it and have the mom hold the child next.
And then what we like to do is after we do that walking pose, we have them go back and we have them just change it up. They look at each other, they look at the little boy, whatever, just to give them more and more variety.
And just another simple way to vary it up a little bit, or if you have a difficult child who just doesn't want to budge and doesn't want to smile, is as they're walking, have mom or dad tickle. And it also adds just a little bit of motion as well.
And then we also like to do one if the kid can walk or somewhat walk with mom and dad holding their hand. We will have them walk really slowly to us and we will zoom in and put attention on the kid, as you can see here, and with this one as well.
And if you have a child who just isn't wanting to smile, and any child loves this, but allow the child to swing while mom and dad walk forward with them.
And then after we've done all of the variety of walking poses, we jump into a couple standing poses. So this is our typical standing pose that we do. We have dad straight onto the camera, mom snuggles in, and then typically dad is holding the baby and we change it up again. They look at us, they look at each other, they look at the baby, whatever it might be. And then here is another one, again, the same pose. Dad is facing us, holding the baby, and mom is snuggled in tight to dad.
Now, these particular poses work really well with young children. So if you do have a child that's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, that's when we would actually put them out in front or to the side, snuggling in on mom or dad's leg as well. Then after we do our standing poses, we usually go into sitting poses if everything is going smooth, because we all know how kids can be. You never know. So in this particular instance, we have mom and dad sit close next to each other, as close as possible, and then we have the child sitting wherever really they will sit depending on their age.
And then to give a little bit more variety, after we have them look at us, look at each other, all of that, then we jump into, we let mom and dad tickle the little baby, and then we get really nice and close and get some really close, cute, zoomed in shots of the family just kind of having fun together.
And then squatting can work well depending on, so for this particular instance, this little girl wasn't having it at this particular time, but she loved this chair that we brought along. So we thought, you know what, while we can, let's get mom and dad right in close next to her and squat so then we can get another family photo. This also works well if you have a child who's a little bit taller, but maybe not tall enough, and it makes it look a little bit awkward with the standing pose to have mom and dad get closer down to their level.
And then after we've done all of those poses, we typically do the breakouts. So as you can see here, we have mom with the little boy. We'll do some fun shots with dad and the little boy, and then just vary it up within those shots. So we can do a couple different pose ideas with dad and the little boy, mom and the little boy. Dad and the little boy could do the kid on the shoulders if he's big enough, maybe tossing the little boy or whatever it might be. So just giving them a few different options within those breakouts as well.
And then obviously we do your typical, we try and get the parents together without the child if we can, to give them a couple of those, and then the child by themselves with a few different variations.
Comment below right now if you have any questions in regards to family photography.
And then trying to get those tiny little shots in between, whether it be dad is just walking the little boy back to get in the next pose, or they're taking a break of some sort and you're just getting goofy little pictures, because that does add to the overall gallery that you're delivering in the end. So for example, in this particular photo, This boy was not happy because mom and dad were getting their photos taken by themselves and he just wanted to be held. He was actually screaming bloody murder right here, but it was a photo op, so we definitely took advantage of that.
And typically this pose we do if we have extra time, and usually we do it with a bigger family, but it can be really cute too if you just have one child that's old enough. We do a blanket pose. So we have a blanket, mom and dad hold it, and then the kids or the kid gets to run through and have fun. It's like we call it a game, and they really, really like that.
And now remember, there's always other options for family photos. So you can do your traditional photo session like a lot of the photos you just saw, but there are times where it just works better and it's something that the family really wants, is to do more of a lifestyle or some sort of interest that they have as a family. So for example, if we look through some of these images here, we have a little girl and her mom at the local ice cream shop. These two are playing at the park, so it's super fun. They're in their element. This little boy and his family are big baseball and softball fans, so we took them out on the baseball field. So lots of different ideas when it comes to lifestyle family ideas as well.
Now, hopefully this was helpful for your next session of a family of 3. Now, if you want to dive a little bit deeper into just family posing ideas, make sure to check out the link in the video description link, and you can get yourselves a free family posing guide that we have put together just for you.
And if you enjoyed this video today, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with a friend so we know to make more videos just like this one.
And if you don't already, follow us on Instagram at e2photography so you can see more behind the scenes of us and other photography tips and tricks. And we will see you next time.